My B1, B2 visa got rejected, and this is why. So basically, the B1, B2 visa for the United States is a visa that will allow you to do some short businesses in the United States, visit somebody, or you want to just visit the country in general, right? Or for other activities such as medical care, educational programs like conferences. So for me, being a student, I actually applied for the visa to attend a conference. So for all visa types and also in all other countries, when you are visiting or you are going to the country, before the officer will give you a visa, they want to see that you have something back at home, your home country, that will actually drive you back, right? And so they want to see something. They want to see that, okay, you have some properties, or you have a business, you have a company, you are married, you have kids. They want you to prove something like this. But the thing is that regardless, the B1, B2 visa, I've seen so many people who had no properties, they are not married, they don't have kids, nothing, right? But they still got a visa. But I was asking myself, why did I get rejected? Here is the case where I was a student. I have studied all my life. I was doing my master's and I got rejected. For the officer to just assume that I'm going to stay there illegal, right? But it didn't come to me. It didn't cross my mind that this is what is going to happen. And somebody will think, after all the things I've done, all my education, why would I go to the United States, just stay there with a visiting visa and be illegal in the United States? This doesn't make a lot of sense. But here's the case, my visa got rejected. During this time when I applied for the visa, I was not married, I had no property, I had no kids. So all these things were detriments or limitations to my application. But I will tell you that I know some friends who also applied during the same time, and they were equally like me, but they got a visa. So I was living in Munich and I booked the appointment in Berlin. So this is the first mistake I made. First of all, I booked the appointment in Berlin because the starting date of the conference was actually close enough that when I checked the available appointments in the Munich embassy, by the time I get an appointment or I go for the interview, the conference would have started or almost ending. So it didn't make a lot of sense to go to the Munich embassy. So that was a legit reason to not go to the Munich embassy, right? And the other thing was that some friends told me that the Munich embassy is kind of very hard to get a visa, but those in Berlin are kind of soft and it's likely to get a visa there. Even though that wasn't the main reason why I went to Berlin, but also it was a kind of a motivation for me to go to Berlin instead of just going to the Munich one, because I was living in Munich and it could have been so easier to get there, right? So the appointment time or day came and then I went to Berlin, and when I got there, the next mistake I made was that normally they tell you you should not bring your phone or whatever electronics, right? But here's the case that my tickets and everything was on this phone. There was no way I could leave my phone in Munich and just go to Berlin and come back, right? And so I took my phone, and when I got to Berlin, because I don't know anybody in Berlin, so I went straight to the embassy and I asked the security personnel that here is the case. I came with my phone. I know I've made a mistake, but if they could take it or if they can tell me where to keep it, right? And so fair enough, they showed me some place. It was a kiosk, some small shop where they sell some bread and coffee like that. And I think they have established this thing with the person to always keep people's phone, because I saw so many phones over there as well. But for me, I think sometimes they read from these things that you are making all these mistakes, right? And so it kind of add up to all the other factors to not give you the visa. So I went there and I gave my phone to this person and then they keep it, and I went back to to the embassy. And then it got to a time, and then this guy started asking his questions, right? And he asked me what I'm doing in Germany, the program I'm doing, and then the conference, trying to establish the fact that the conference and my program of study makes sense, right? So it's not like you are studying science and you are going for a business conference, even though sometimes it makes sense, but academic wise, it's kind of raises some questions, right? And so for me, it was okay on that part, but here is the case. This guy asked me, why are you coming to Berlin, living in Munich, when there's another embassy in Munich? And like I said earlier, I told him, okay, look, the date I can get appointment at the Munich office will be so late that I will miss the conference altogether. So it made a lot of sense for me to come to Berlin. And I tried to convince him. I tried and tried and tried. He asked, okay, he stopped asking those questions, and then he moved on to other questions, trying to establish the fact that, okay, do I know somebody in the United States? I said no. And yeah, it went on, and the guy came back again and asked me, are you sure you checked very well with appointments and all that? I explained further, but still I saw that he was not going to understand the fact that I came all the way from Munich to Berlin, and I should have gone to the other embassy in Munich. During this time, I was a student, a master's student, and it was almost 6 months left for me to finish my master program. And so my resident permit was also left with 6 months. And like anybody would think, it was almost like, okay, this guy is almost completing his studies and he wants to just move to the United States, or just go to the United States and then maybe stay there, right? So for him, when this one add up to the fact that I didn't go to the Munich embassy, he just said, no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna reject your visa. And that was it, all right? And so I think I didn't get a visa because, yes, my resident permit was left 6 months, and also the fact that I had to go to Berlin, and also maybe I should have kept my phone somewhere before coming. And also I was not married, I didn't have kids, I had no properties, I had no businesses, nothing, right? It was just some single guy, some single African guy who wants to go to the United States. So this is my case, this is what happened. And maybe if I would apply again now, I will make some changes or rectify some of the mistakes that I made. And so if you're applying to apply for the B1, B2 visa, then you have to also make sure you are doing everything correctly so that you not get your visa rejected. All right, so this is what I wanted to share with you guys, and thank you for watching to this end, and I'll see you another one. Bye.